Today, we will learn about integers. We come across many situations in our daily life where there is a need to represent numbers with a positive or a negative sign. For example, the temperature of Mumbai is usually above 0 degrees centigrade and is represented with a positive sign before the number. During winters, do you know that the temperature of Srinagar falls below 0 degrees centigrade? This has a negative sign before the number. Similarly, in a building, the floors above the ground are shown by a positive sign, whereas the floors below the ground, like the basement, are shown by a negative sign. Numbers which have a positive sign before it are called positive numbers, and those which have a negative sign before it are called negative numbers. A collection of positive numbers, negative numbers, and 0 together is known as integers. In this collection, just numbers like 1, 2, 3, etc., without any sign, are said to be positive integers. Although -1, -2, -3, etc., which have a negative sign, are said to be negative integers. The value of negative integers is less than 0, whereas the value of positive integers is greater than 0. 0 is neither positive nor negative. Therefore, it cannot be represented by any sign. Now let's understand why integers are important. Let's understand it with the help of an example. Suppose a bird is flying at a height of 500 meters above sea level and a fish is at a depth of 500 meters below sea level. Can the distance between the bird and the fish with respect to land near the sea be represented mathematically? The height of the bird from the sea level is 500 meters and the depth of the fish from the sea level is 500 meters. But this is an incorrect way to represent their differences because both are situated in opposite directions. The bird is above the sea level, whereas the fish is below the sea level. Since whole numbers are incapable of representing this kind of situation, we use integers. In this case, the height above sea level is represented with a positive sign as plus 500 meters, and the depth below the sea level must have a negative sign such as minus 500 meters. It is now quite clear that plus 500 meters means 500 meters above the sea level and minus 500 means 500 meters below the sea level. Now let's consider some more examples of integers to understand it much better. Let's suppose Rahul and Ruchika start walking in opposite directions from a point, say 0. Rahul walks 5 steps towards the right from 0 and Ruchika walks 5 steps towards the left. How would you represent their distance from the initial point 0? Think about it. You are right. The steps towards the right are shown by a positive sign, and those towards the left are shown with a negative sign. Therefore, Rahul has taken 5 steps and Ruchika has taken minus 5 steps. Now let's suppose Harsh came to a shop with rupees 30, but he bought things for rupees 35. He pays the shopkeeper rupees 30 and keeps a debt of rupees 5. How do you think the shopkeeper will make a note of this? Any ideas? Think about it. Okay, the shopkeeper should write minus 5 in front of Harsh's name, where the negative sign represents the money Harsh has yet to pay him. Harsh owes him rupees 5. Similarly, when money is deposited in a bank, it is represented by a positive sign, whereas withdrawal of money is represented by a negative sign. While we are discussing money, let's also talk about profit and loss. Suppose a businessman sells an article worth rupees 20 for rupees 25. His profit is rupees 5. Since his profit is rupees 5, it is represented as plus 5. But if he sells an article worth rupees 20 for rupees 15, he incurs a loss of rupees 5, which is represented as minus 5. Today, we have learnt about integers. In the next video, we will learn it in a better way with some examples. Today, we will see some examples of integers. Example 1. Following is the list of temperatures at 5 places in India. Represent them as integers. If the temperature is above 0 degrees centigrade, then it is represented as a positive sign. So the temperature of Delhi is 16 degrees above 0 degrees centigrade. Therefore, it is represented as plus 16 degrees. Similarly, Mumbai is 30 degrees centigrade above 0 degrees. Therefore, it is represented as plus 30 degrees centigrade. If the temperature is below 0 degrees centigrade, then it is represented as a minus sign. The temperature of Hemkund is 13 degrees centigrade below 0. Therefore, it is represented as minus 13. Similarly, that of Dras is 20 degrees centigrade below 0. Therefore, it is represented as minus 20 degrees centigrade. The next example. Mohit's house is at a distance of 20 meters towards the east from Rohit's house. Meena's house is 15 meters towards the west, Samir's house 25 meters towards the north, and Savita's house 5 meters towards the south from Rohit's house. Represent the distance between Mohit, Meena, Samir, and Savita's houses from Rohit's house in integers. The distance between Mohit, Meena, Samir, and Savita's houses from Rohit's house is given. Therefore, we represent Rohit's house as 0. In this example, we represent the distance towards the east by a positive sign and its opposite direction, that is west, by a negative sign. Therefore, the distance from Rohit's house to Mohit's house is plus 20 meters and the distance from Rohit's house to Meena's house is minus 15 meters. Similarly, we represent the distance towards the north by a positive sign and the distance towards the south by a negative sign. Therefore, the distance from Rohit's house to Samir's house is plus 25 meters. Can you find the distance from Rohit's house to Savita's house? Any ideas? Since the distance towards the south is represented by a negative sign, the distance from Rohit's house to Savita's house is minus 5 meters. Today, we have seen examples of integers. In the next video, we will see some misconceptions and common mistakes related to this. Today, we will see some misconceptions related to integers. Misconception 1. Of the following, which numbers are integers? Often, only negative numbers are mistaken as integers, in which case you might choose option 1, which is incorrect. Similarly, it is understood that the collection of integers has positive numbers and negative numbers alone, and no zero, which will lead you to choose the option 2, which is again incorrect. The correct answer is obviously option 3, since integers include all negative numbers, positive numbers, and 0. Misconception 2. Which option represents the relation between natural numbers, whole numbers, and integers? Sometimes it is difficult to find the relation between these three sets of numbers. Often, options 1 and 2 are chosen, which are incorrect. The correct understanding is that natural numbers range from 1 to infinity. Whole numbers consist of all natural numbers along with 0. This means natural numbers are included in the collection of whole numbers. Similarly, including negative numbers along with whole numbers gives a collection of integers. This means the collection of integers contains all whole numbers and all natural numbers. Therefore, option 3 is the correct answer. Today, we have seen some misconceptions related to integers.